This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network, and we're a proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metals Summit Europe, which is being held virtually this year. Joining me right now is Will Randall. He is the president and CEO of Freeman Gold Corp. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you, FMAN on the CSE and FMANF in the US. Will, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. So let's start with a very quick overview and history of the company, and then we'll go from there.
It's a new company, so the history part is pretty easy. We got going this year. We made the property acquisition earlier, late 2019. The listing process took us to about early 2020. We subsequently raised $10.3 million at 50 cents to get the work programs underway, and completed a couple of tidy up transactions to de-risk the property from an ownership standpoint. So now we own 100% of all the claims surrounding the Lemhi Project, which brings us to a little bit more of the history around the project. This history was drilled off in the, this project was drilled off in the 80s and the 90s by FMC and AGR. They put about 355 plus drill holes into a 600 by 500 meter area and defined a really nice heap leachable resource containing historically somewhere between 800,000 and 1.2 million ounces of oxidized and transition style mineralization, gold mineralization. So that's our starting point. That's why we like this project. Located in mining friendly Idaho, USA, which is a great jurisdiction, a lot of activity, a lot of money being invested in gold projects in our immediate area, majors moving in, and institutional money as well. So, you know, we're located in a very favorable jurisdiction and starting off not with a grassroots type exploration company, but with a meaningful resource that is open on strike and at depth. So we plan to grow this over 2 phases of drilling through to a 1.5 to 2 million ounce contained gold. So that's our target area.
So what would you say makes the company and your projects unique and different compared to your peers out there?
Well, the real value driver here is the heap leachable component. You know, heap leach mines are the highest margin, making a ton of cash, not only in this environment, you know, where we have an elevated gold price, but really at any gold price over the last, you know, in the modern decades. So that's really unique. We have that still intact. It hasn't been mined out, which is rare. Most of these deposits got picked over 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, over hundreds of years of mining. So that sort of really sets us apart. These are highly valuable ounces. And the fact that we start with a historical resource that's very robust, somewhere around 1 million ounces that we can grow on within that heap leachable component, so on strike, near surface, and also at depth. I mean, these deposits, when they were drilled off in the 80s and the 90s, were only drilled the top 150, 200 meters, because that's the heap leachable portion of the deposit. And then the drill holes are stopped. So we're already drilling there. We're already drilling deeper. We're already finding favorable geology. So, you know, I would say what sets us apart is we have the highly valuable ounces still intact, with a lot of upside to grow this within the heap leachable component and also at depth within the sulfide zone.
And what's your background? I mean, what brought you to Freeman Gold?
Well, I'm a geologist by training. I went to U of T, I did a BSc and then an MSc. I worked out of Timmins for a number of years and spent the last, I guess, decade based in Toronto, where I was one of the early movers in the lithium industry in Argentina, and acquired and discovered a lithium brine deposit that we eventually sold in 2018 for $265 million to a Chinese group. I transitioned with that group, and so that brought me around to finding another property that sort of fitted the bill of our previous successes. So something that has the potential to be a real producer, world-class type asset. This time, obviously, in a much better jurisdiction than Argentina, so that's a positive. And I'm a firm believer in junior companies with a great team focusing on a single asset to deliver value in a short period. We did that, the Lithium X story, we did that in about 2.5 years, got it listed and sold. So we're trying to replicate that success. I think we have a great gold market coming up here, 2 or 3 years at the very least, with a good backdrop. And, we're going to focus the first year on resource growth, get those ounce counts compliant and then maximized. And at the same time, de-risk the asset. We've done the property ownership point. We've got to get the metallurgy sorted out, environmental permitting, and get this production ready in the shortest time frame possible.
Man, you answered my next question already pretty much, because I was going to ask, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the value catalysts moving forward? But, you kind of already alluded to that, that just now. Yeah,
well, but, more specifically, catalysts going forward, we have 2 rigs on site right now. And this will be the first drilling that we've done, the first drilling that will bring a 43-101 compliant resource to the market and to our shareholders. So it's the phase 1 drilling, which we call, our initial resource drilling, is 5,000 meters. We've completed right now about half of that, just over half of that. So 2,500 plus meters, 16 drill holes. The geology is matching very well with what we expected from all the historical data and cross sections. So we're really excited. Those drill results are going to come out to market in 3 to 4 weeks. And then there'll be continuous news flow into Q1 of next year, early Q1. And then we will follow that up shortly with our initial resource estimate. Drilling will continue into phase 2, where we're getting that initial resource estimate maximized on strike and at depth, targeting that 1.5, 2 million ounce range by mid next year. So those are the immediate catalysts. During that time, you'll also see our exploration efforts sort of further on strike. We cover 8.5 kilometers of the overall trend, and we are going to be actively delineating targets to find satellite deposits, so additional deposits on the property. And also we have a 3D IP that sees about 400 or 500 meters below surface to try to find the high-grade feeder zones, which leads us into phase 3 drilling in the second half of next year, where we will do more greenfields type exploration to find these additional deposits and get us beyond that target range.
And Will, with that, where can our audience go and find everything they need to know to follow along the Freeman Gold story?
Yeah, we have a full corporate presentation and a lot more information on our website, freemangoldcorp.com. And of course, you can always reach out. There's contact information there as well to reach out over the phone. And we're happy to provide more information.
Very good. Well, Will, thank you so much for joining me today. Good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Again, my name is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network, and we're a proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Europe being held virtually this year. Will be there giving a presentation on Freeman Gold Corp, and thank you all for watching.